Hello friends, how are you all? My name is Rituraj Dikshit and I am an instructor for the course of Business Analytics and Data Analytics course using Python, and which is of course is being running on Google Colab. So I'm going to start the section 2 of these statistics, and which is purely belonging to the different concepts of statistics, like one of them is probability and probability distribution. We are going to have the detailed introduction of probability distribution, because it is one of the very important topic which determine that how to withdraw the data from the population, from the distribution, and how to take it, why we call it population, and what is sample, and what does this sample exactly means. Then we are going to also discuss in the next section that what exactly the sample means. So that is about the section 3. So concentrating on section number 2, we are going to have the concept of probability distribution. We are going to discuss exactly what is the meaning of this word distribution, and what are different type of distributions we have. So let's start this one for you all. So introduction to probability and probability distribution. The objectives of this lecture are very clear: to make you aware about the empirical distribution, discrete distributions, and continuous distributions. So what is distribution? In fact, if you are a newbie in statistics and you don't know anything about statistics at this moment of time, and you want to become a data analyst, then it is very important that you should devote your lot of time in having the idea about the statistics and learning small things of the stats. You can't leave any stone unturned as far as this statistics subject is being concerned. So you can use these slides as notes, and you can refer to them and build your basics and build your concepts. So exactly, the shape is nothing but it is the collection of the different type of numbers, and along with their distribution pattern we determine the shape of the distribution. And shape is very important. It helps in determining the mean, mode, and variance. And more prominently, if we talk about the normal distribution, which is also known as the Gaussian distribution, which is being used in all the important relevant fields where we go for being restricted only for computer science, I can say that. And in fact, more precisely, if I would say that if we talk about the artificial intelligence, we can say that it is being used as a Gaussian distribution for ML, for the deep learning, for image processing, for computer vision tasks. So it is a very important distribution. We will going to discuss that. Second thing is the characteristics of distribution can sometimes be defined using small numbers of number descriptors as parameters. Basically, what happens that what exactly distribution means? It can be sometime the distribution of the parameter. Like suppose in your model there are 4 parameters, say car engine, fuel type, engine size, or number of doors. So if you have 4 type of engines, and then 4 type of parameters, then you can have 4 type of distributions also, which shows the pattern of the data, how it has been distributed in your sample or in your population. So basically it here means the distribution basically tells you that what is the pattern of the data, whether it is the right is skewed, left is skewed, or it has some outliers, like this. All these important things can be shown when we go for the distribution. And in fact, I have shown you how we go for distributions in first section also, where we have done lot of exploratory analysis. I just want to make it repeat here again that we use histograms to find out the distribution patterns, and for that we draw SNS.histogram hist plot, and we do KD equals to true, which gives you the tracing, curve tracing, and you can help it can help you in finding out the outliers at the both ends. So parameters can also be drawn as a distribution series for the different type of data structures. It can serve as a basis of standardized comparison with empirical distributions, and it helps us in determining the confidence intervals. Of course, the z value or z static in a distribution is normally being calculated by using the formula x minus mu upon sigma, which we are going to see in both in the class ways or in your class also, and also with the help of the Python programming concepts. So what is the random variable? A random variable. A random variable is sometime is very easy to understand. Sometimes it get confusing, and what if if you will ask from me, then I would say that a variable which is almost and every time uncertain is random variable. Like suppose you pass in the examination or not, it is it is quite random that if you if your paper goes good, you will get pass. If paper don't get good, you may get fail. So it has nothing to do with uncertainty, but the level of uncertainty can be there. Okay, I'm very much certain that I'll going to pass. What is probability? Probability 80%, or I'll going to pass. Probability 90%. But the variable is still random till it does not contain a specific value. Okay, but the probability determines its strength of on either side. Okay, like the probability of being head or tail of a coin is 50%, right? Because for an unbiased coin, so a random variable can attain any possible value or set of values, but the probability determine what is the relative strength of adopting that particular value, right? So like in a deck of card, if there are 4 type of kings are there, and so if we have only 4 kings and we have only 4 cards, and then probability of each and every one is 0.25. so the random variable can take any of these cards. It can be have the card of spade, can be have card of club, can be have card of diamond, can be have card of heart, right? So but the relative strength is 0.25, means that the probability is 0.25. Random variable can take any of these cards when we randomly pick up from a bunch of 4 cards, and with the same and equal probability. That type of distribution is basically known as uniform distribution, when we have equal probability for the random variable. Please keep this in mind. Okay, now let's talk about the discrete distributions and continuous distributions. Here comes the hero. This is known as probability distribution function, PDFs. PDFs are being explained to you, and are going to be explained to you in fact in a great detail in my classroom class. No need to worry about that, where you will going to see the mathematics behind that PDF, how it is being drawn, and what is the exact meaning of each and every variable, or each and every constant, and each and every element which is there associated in the particular formula of finding the PDF of a particular variable. Okay, what does this PDF do? This PDF is basically used to calculate the specific probability of a particular data value in a continuous domain. The same work is being done by the PMF also, but that it do in the discrete domain. Please remember that lot of stuff is there available on the internet, but you may eventually get confused because it is not mentioned very clearly that what is the exact difference between the PDF and PMF. They used to define it differently, due to which we don't able to predict the exact differences. The exact difference goes like this, that PDF is basically used to find the probability of a specific random variable in a continuous domain, whereas PMF is basically used to find the probability of a random variable in a discrete domain. PMF is used to find the probability in a discrete domain. PDF is used to find the probability in a continuous domain. Always remember this particular thing in mind. CDF is altogether a different thing, but PDF is used to find the probability in the continuous domain for a specific value or a particular range. But PMF can be used for a range. PMF can be used to find the value only in the discrete domain, very specific. A specificity is also there in PDFs, but PDF can have a range also, like x is greater than equals to a and less than equals to b. If you suppose we have to find the PDF of this particular range in the continuous domain, then we use PDF. Okay, but PMF has like this: p probability of x equals to a, exactly that particular value, because in discrete domains we can't have the ranges. It is important to know, because the variables are not correlated to each other. They are very discrete. They are not connected in the discrete domain. Okay, so now the PDF of a discrete domain is also known as PMF in case of discrete values. So suppose let us have a very famous example. Suppose we have two tosses of a coin, means that we have chance to toss coin 2 times. Then what are the possible outcomes? The possible outcomes would be head head. Of course, we can have 2 tosses, we can have both heads, we can have head tail, we can have tail head, and we can have tail tail, right. So please concentrate at this particular moment of time, that look at this. Look at this, number of heads is 0. What is the probability that number of heads is 0? The probability of number of heads is 0 is being given by wait a minute. Yeah, the probability of 0 head is given by this TT. This is 1, and how many possible outcomes? 4. So 1 by 4 is nothing but it is 0.25. Okay, so probability of having 0 head is 0.25. So probability of one head can be achieved by H comma T, means first head then tail, and can be achieved by head tail comma head, that is first tail then head. So it has the probability of 2 by 4, which is nothing but it is going to be 0.5. Similarly, we are going to have the probability of 0.25 for having both tails, because it has both heads, right, HH, it is also same. So this is a normal distribution, and this is the, what is this? This is the probability density of 0, it is 0.25, and the probability density of 1 is 0.5, probability density of 2 is 0.25. This is how we calculate the PDFs of any random variable. Means a random variable can attain these particular values HH, TH, HT, TT with these particular set of probabilities. So, okay. Now, this is the way to calculate the PDFs. Okay. The PDF for x less than 0 is being determined by, it is a continuous variable. So, we can have the PDFs. Oh, sorry, I beg to repeat that it is to calculate the probability of discrete values. So, probability of x less than equal to 0 is being given by we sum up all the values which are less than or equal to 0 individually, and we can do this in this particular way, because each and every value has independent probability. Look at this. These are the random variables. X can attain any random variable -9, -9, -5, -1, 0, 1, 4, 6, right, and this is the probability of its attaining the value minus it is 0.13, 0.15, 0.17, 0.20. And look at this, what is written here, x equal to x. It is a way to write a PMF, or what we can say that the discrete value computation. So, we are calculating exactly the PMF. Now, suppose we have to calculate the PMF for the range x less than equal to 0. What is the individual probabilities? So, we do nothing. We just going to sum up all these relevant probabilities, and we get the answer. The same thing we are going to do for this one, this range. Look at this range. What does this range say? X is greater than equals to -3 and less than equals to 1. So, where we find this range? Here, 0.17. So, what we are going to do is that we are going to have the points, this one 0.15 and 0.17, 0.20 and 0.15. We are going to add them, and we get 0.67. Similarly, the probability between requirement for a discrete probability function, we are talking here about, of course, about the PMF, the probability mass function. The probability lies between 0 and 1, total probability is equals to 1, and summation of all probabilities is of course equals to 1. Now here come another important terminology, which is known as cumulative distribution function. The cumulative distribution function is determined by capital Fx. Please keep in mind cumulative distribution function, and the cumulative distribution function we're going to study in great detail in the next class. Thank you.